I want to welcome you to this press conference. This is a very important day, not just for the University of Mary, but I believe this is an important day for higher education. I think this is groundbreaking, and I think this is paradigm shift in higher education and the way that education is going to be delivered and received for the future. And so this is a significant moment. I want to welcome our local community. We have people who made the hill. It's not that icy. Life is good. And we just need to get our winter weather gear on. Special guests, of course, our deans are here, our faculty. A warm welcome to our students that have joined us today. I know we have student government here as well. We're so excited, and they're probably glad too. They probably got out of a class or two. And certainly to welcome our media. Thank you for joining us today for this very important announcement. At this point, without further ado, I'd like to bring the President of the University of Mary forward, Monsignor James Shea, to talk about our important new initiative. Monsignor Shea?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. Diane, thanks for introducing everybody and for welcoming everyone. I don't want to forget that we have a couple of sisters here as well this morning, the founders and sponsors of the University of Mary. Let's talk for a moment, everyone, let's talk for a moment about higher education. It's no secret to anyone who's paying attention that our nation and our state are approaching a sea change in the culture and configuration of colleges and universities. The airwaves and the newspapers and the blogs are filled with stories about the cost, the time, and the debt involved in a traditional college or university education today. Costs. Costs are skyrocketing at a rate which has far outpaced the national growth in income levels. Since 1980, the cost of attending a public college in this country has tripled. The cost of attending a public college in this country has tripled. Private college tuition costs have escalated to nearly $35,000 on average, which is why a place like the University of Mary gets all sorts of national play with our tuition level of $14,000. Cost. Time to completion. Time to completion is steadily on the rise. The United States Department of Education is telling us that more and more students are spending 5, 6, or 7 years getting a 4-year college degree. Time to completion. And debt. That scary word, debt. Student loan debt, which in this country is now at $1.2 trillion, surpassing credit card debt, is something of a ticking time bomb. Not only that, but student debt levels in this country have an individual impact in real time on graduates who come out of school on the doorstep of their lives and have to sacrifice or have to set aside their own dreams, in many ways because they're crippled or saddled with unhealthy levels of student loan debt. And with no end of these trends in sight, many are delaying their education, while others are simply abandoning their college dreams. Students and their families are responding to these trends, and they're voting with their feet. As Dr. Warford will speak to you shortly, here in North Dakota, the path to a college education faces the added challenge of a booming state economy, which offers high-paying jobs right out of high school. And so our students face temptations and real-life choices about the opportunity costs of attending college. If all of this does not signal a need for a healthy, radical change, I don't know what does. I want to tell you about my summer. You know, the snow has just arrived, and our memories go back to the days of water skiing and Bermuda shorts. And I wander around on this campus in the summertime, and I miss our students. I miss them. This place was built for students, and it's empty when they're not here. I miss our faculty, too. They might not miss me. But the place feels like something of a ghost town, and it's true at every college and university in this country. And I think about our situation here in North Dakota. Here we are in the most compressed real estate market since Bethlehem on Christmas Eve. And here we are at the University of Mary with more than 1,000 empty beds for 4 months out of the year. And our dining facilities, which were built to feed students, are empty. And as we think about plans, and as we make solid plans for groundbreaking of new state-of-the-art facilities, we think about them sitting empty for 4 months out of the year. And then I go downtown to Peacock Alley, or to the Toasted Frog, or to Fireflower Pizza. And I think in the middle of July about all those students who streamed to the University of Mary from out of state. This year, for the first time in our history, less than half of our freshman class came from North Dakota. And those students from out of state, I want them to be down eating pizza in the summertime, enlivening downtown Bismarck. I want them there. And so I thought about that and prayed about it. And then I looked back at the history of the traditional college academic year. The way that the academic year is structured with a fall semester and a spring semester and the whole summer off goes back to the patterns of living of the English upper crust, of the aristocracy, who could afford to send their students, their children, off to a leisurely higher education at Cambridge and Oxford, and then spend the summers at Downton Abbey. And when higher education came to this country, it was the same thing. Harvard and Princeton and Yale were built for rich kids. And when the GI Bill rolled around at the end of World War II, and farm kids like me for the first time were able to go to the universities, and the mega university was born in this country, that schedule cohered well with the agricultural patterns of rural living in America. And so it worked for a time. But now, here are our students. Look at them. They're not upper crust English aristocrats. And they didn't spend their summers, most of them, like me, picking rock and hauling bales and shoveling out chicken coops. They spend their summers working at Dairy Queen and playing a little bit at the lake. Why do they work at Dairy Queen? Free ice cream. Now, that's one of the world's most tempting things, for sure. But also they do it so that they can have a little bit of spending money and so that they can make a dent in rising tuition costs in this country and try and bring down their own debt levels a little bit to a more reasonable level. But that's an increasingly, if you think about it with me for just a minute, that's an increasingly and strangely inefficient way to accomplish that. What if those 2 summers of earnings were creatively moved around to the backside of their college education so that they're working with a bachelor's degree and earning a real wage? Think about the difference that that would make in their lives. You don't even have to think about it. We've done the analysis, and we've handed it out to you as you walked in the door today. So in keeping with the tradition of innovation pioneered by our founding sisters when they came to Dakota Territory in 1878, the University of Mary is stepping forward once more with a new, bold, and creative solution. We call it YearRound Campus. Built to address the very challenges higher ed faces, YearRound Campus positions students to earn their bachelor's degree in 2.6 years and their master's degree in 4 years. And unlike fast-track programs, or unlike individually designed torture plans for the strangely motivated, unlike these types of overwhelming experiences that highly driven students construct for themselves, YearRound Campus offers the same course load and the same study pace of traditional 4-year college degrees by utilizing a full, vibrant summer semester. In addition, YearRound Campus includes work campus and service campus components that help students pay for their degree, attack their debt load in real time, jumpstart their career, and give back to the communities in which we serve. The net result is an undergraduate and graduate degree option that costs less, takes less time, and offers greater savings and earning potential. And one that addresses the changing climate of higher education while fulfilling the University of Mary's mission to form servant leaders with moral courage, global understanding, and commitment to the common good. What do you think of that? Naturally, all of this means a change in our own culture and configuration here at the University of Mary. Higher ed, I say this quietly, higher ed is not known for being adroit, agile, or nimble. But here at the University of Mary, we are all those things. And a change like YearRound Campus points to some very new and exciting opportunities available to everyone at Mary, especially available to our students. As a word of reassurance, of course, our regular, excellent four-year degree options on the traditional calendar year are still intact for those who wish for them, and we'll always do everything we can at Mary to serve our students and to meet their individual needs. But everybody, you heard it here first. The ways of yesterday are not necessarily the ways of tomorrow. And the internet and online education, which are in some ways attempts to address these staggering questions in higher education, they're wonderful, but they're not going to completely solve or fully solve or solve well our problems or our care for the personal, spiritual, and developmental needs of young women and men today. The University of Mary has just completed the formation of Vision 2030, our strategic plan for the future. In it, we talk about our deep desire and our firm commitment to form servant leaders, students of moral courage who shine with radiance and life. This plan helps us to do that in a way which accords with our mission, which responds to the times in which we find ourselves, and which puts students at the center of our planning and of our efforts. So we submit this plan to all of you, but we submit it not only to you, we submit this plan as well to the Lord of all providence, and to his mother, whose name hangs over this place. Or, as the Benedictine motto says, ut in omnibus glorificetur Deus, that in everything God may be glorified. Well, we're going to start our recruiting right now this very second. We have some visitors from Bismarck, a few high school students who I'd like to come forward so that we can present them with a sweatshirt heralding this new idea. Please welcome high school students. Here's a sweatshirt for you. You look like a super extra large. Okay, good. One more time for our students.
I think it's not only exciting, but I think this is a historic moment here at the University of Mary. And to the sisters that are in attendance, thank you for your vision. Monsignor and all of the other, my fellow deans and everybody that's here today, thank each and every one of you for your leadership. YearRound Campus. YearRound Campus makes business sense. It makes business sense. Serious, rigorous education for life, less cost, less time, greater return on investment, but still our mission-driven Benedictine values here at the University of Mary. There are a number of factors that drove innovations like YearRound Campus here at the University of Mary, not the least of which is the dynamic, growing economy, not only here in North Dakota, but in the Bismarck-Mandan area. You know, we're blessed with a work ethic here in North Dakota, that can-do spirit. We're legendary workers on a global scale. But what I like to call our diverse economy here in North Dakota, I call it an economy that is so diverse that it is recession-proof. If you look at our economy, oil, coal, natural gas, higher ed, this is part of the economy. Healthcare, you look at also retail, manufacturing. All of these things have led to an explosion of workforce opportunities here in North Dakota. Currently, there are 30,000 jobs available in North Dakota. In Bismarck and Mandan, on BizMan online, there are nearly 4,000 jobs available. From 2002 to 2013, in Bismarck alone, 16,000 jobs were created, 1,200 businesses. Yet, at that same time, how about this for an interesting dynamic? 2.7% unemployment. How do you make those numbers work? And while this is a challenge for the state and for Bismarck, everybody, it's kind of a good problem to have. It is really a problem. It is a problem for business, workforce issues. To say that the employers of the Peace Garden State are eager for a well-formed, job-ready graduate, it's an understatement. They are desperate. Our businesses are desperate for skilled employees. And all this is against a backdrop of a sluggish national economy, but also very competitive as well. There are jobs nationally available. They're looking for skilled, committed, virtuous, ethical workers, not only here, but across our nation and globally. As Monsignor mentioned, I was humbled and honored to serve 12 years as your mayor. And I heard on a daily basis from businesses and business leaders the problems that they are faced, and repeatedly they're talking about well-rounded employees. We create businesses, we create jobs. Where will we find the talent to come to our job? These businesses want professionals who possess education. Education is so important, both industry-specific knowledge and also well-formed minds and consciences. G.K. Chesterton said, "Education is simply the soul of society as it passes from one generation to another." So our employers want education. Secondly, they want people that want to change the world. They want leaders who think critically, communicate effectively, solve complex problems, and do it all within a moral and an ethical framework. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." I was speaking to these high school students and the students in it. You can change the world. No college or university does it better than we do here at the University of Mary. No one. No one prepares industry-ready students like we do. And with YearRound Campus, we're going to create more servant leaders that will carry on the force of good in society. So we here at Mary, we have listened to what the students and parents are saying: time, cost, return on investment. And we're listening to the business leaders in North Dakota, our local community, and globally. They need talent. The university finds itself at a critical point in time now where preparation meets opportunity. A little bit of a business talk here. So we've crafted an innovative response here at the University of Mary. From a business sense, the supply, you might say, intersects the demand. And while we do that, we leverage the University of Mary, what we do best. So how about that? Students enrolled in YearRound Campus can earn their bachelor's degree in 2.6 years and a master's in 4 years. That is innovative. That is really something. That is a profound solution to workforce. That is a profound solution to the cost of education. We should be complimented for that. Unlike accelerated degrees or fast track, and I want to emphasize, this is not an accelerated degree. This is not fast track. This is YearRound Campus here at the University of Mary with the same serious, rigorous education, content, and mission-driven formation that we at the university are known for. Although YearRound Campus may not be for everyone, because we still have all of the four-year programs. We have the master's, the graduate programs, the online programs as well. We have all of those. YearRound Campus will also, with the other programs, prepare students to enter adulthood and graduates who are leaders in their faith, their profession, and the world. So I look at it. This is win, win, win. It's a win for students and their parents. It's a win for the employers in North Dakota and beyond. And it's a win here for the mission of the University of Mary. Thank you. Go Marauders.
Thank you, John. Thanks so much. In addition, I thought it was important today that we would get a student perspective, and so we're very lucky to have the student body president, Jason, with us today. Jason, if you'd come up and just spend a minute or two talking to the crowd about your thoughts about going to school all the time.
There you go. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm very excited to speak to you all on behalf of the student body about this exciting new development at the University of Mary. As a college student, I'm fully aware of the costs associated with higher education and the debt that can accrue to attain this education. Also, as a student that grew up in Wofford City, North Dakota, a small town in the heart of Western North Dakota and the oil boom, I am aware of the tough decisions that young adults are having these days to either pursue higher education or enter straight into the workforce. And while our administration here at the University of Mary has been listening to the needs of their current students and also to the region as a whole, and that is the need for higher education at a pace or setting, or in the setting that is consistent with our economy here in North Dakota. I am so excited and grateful for our administration and their diligent work that they have put into the development of the YearRound Campus. It is a great thing that is going to benefit many students, not only here on our main campus, but also our online students and graduate programs as well. The idea that a four-year bachelor's degree is the only way in higher education is now being reinvented, and it is a great thing because the education is not being compromised in the slightest. It's the addition of a summer semester. It's not fast track or anything that Dr. Warford or Monsignor mentioned. So it's going to benefit so many students, and I am so excited for the university moving forward with the year-round campus idea and serving the needs of the academic needs of this region. So thank you.
And as academic vice president, I certainly can take questions as well. Yes.
Yeah, how do you plan on deciding which classes will be offered? Will every class be offered over the summer or just specific ones?
Thanks for that question, Amy. Of course, they won't at the beginning. So it'll take some time to ramp up to the year-round campus. We're launching it in the fall of 2015 with that incoming freshman class. That means that we'll be operating for the first time in the summer semester, probably in the summer of 2016. What we'll need to do, because Diane and her team, Dr. Warford and the other deans, have been energetically analyzing all of our academic programs. We have nearly 60 majors here at the University of Mary. We have 10 master's programs. And so to analyze those programs and to make sure that they're able to fit into the construct, into the parameters of a 2.6-year bachelor's degree and a 4-year master's degree, means that they need to think about that. And so the classes offered in the summer to begin with will be those classes which are common to all of our programs, probably to begin with. And so it'll be a smaller level of class, or a smaller offering of classes, and that's just the economically feasible and the reasonable way to do it. But I will add, what's good about your question, Amy, is this. Because of the situation, because of this way going forward, we're able to add a special sparkle to those classes that every student needs to take by offering them in the summertime, by pairing them with splendid North Dakota outdoor activities, and we're able to have access not only to our own great faculty here at the University of Mary, but we'll be able to bring in people from other universities as well as guest speakers, lecturers, and those types of things who normally have a full-time job at another university during the whole year, who might be able to spend some time with our excellent faculty here on our campus. We're committed to giving a special sparkle to that summer semester.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks for having me on the conference call. So I was wondering, you mentioned that the costs would decrease. Would students enrolled in the year-round campus be taking overall fewer credits? Is that how that would happen? Or can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. We're still working out the financials of it, Grace. Yes? Sure. Let me repeat the question first, Grace, so that everybody can hear it. She said if the cost of a year-round campus experience is less than the traditional, how will that work? Will the students be taking less credits? The students will be taking the same credit course load, but we're working on innovative ways in which they'll be able to reduce their costs, plus there will be reduced costs for the summer semester. That makes all the sense in the world. If we have 1,000 empty beds, filling them in any way is helpful to the university in terms of revenue intake. Does that make sense? And so as a result, we're able to offer specific discounts to students who are willing to do that. Not only that, there are employers that we've been talking with who are so excited about this idea, who think that the possibility of having a workforce that's well prepared in a responsible way with our excellent degrees earlier, that's so attractive to them that they're willing to fund this, meaning that we'll have specific scholarships that'll just be for year-round students. And so in both of those ways and in other ways, we'll be able to reduce the cost of students for students who are willing to participate in that. And then in addition to that, and I think we'll be sending you, or we've already sent you our analysis on this, and we passed it all out. I didn't want to get bogged down in numbers. But you see that we've done the cost analysis of lifetime incremental earning, lifetime incremental savings, and reduced debt load to show that those who participate in this program, if we're assuming a $45,000 entry-level salary, if we do that, the overall savings to them in lifetime earnings, savings, and reduction in debt load is around $320,000 in real-time money today, which is extraordinary. Does that make sense, Grace?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Other questions from the media? Or from the crowd? Yeah, in the back.
Thanks, Monsignor. One of the attractive things about UMary is the opportunity to study abroad. I'm curious as to how a year-round campus would affect studying in Italy or Peru.
Enzo, that's a great question. Again, the course of study of this program, coheres with the rate and the pace of our normal course of study. The students are taking the normal credit hours. We need to do some analysis because you know that we close our Rome campus down in the summer. Except for the high school programs that we run and some other specialized things, everybody leaves Rome, including the Pope until a couple years ago. Everybody, and I think he has air conditioning at the Casa Santa Marta. Everybody leaves Rome in August and July. And so we need to think carefully about how to craft that. But this is not going to reduce opportunities for students. But we need to be better than ever at the University of Mary in terms of offering thoughtful, good advisement to students. Diane, do you want to follow up on that?
Sure. The courses are going to be there, and so sitting down with an advisor and being able to map out 8 semesters of work in order to lead to the baccalaureate degree will be very doable. And then because our study abroad is generally a liberal arts term. It is a liberal arts term in Peru. It is a liberal arts term in Rome. Certainly we have wonderful opportunities to travel during the summer semester, which let me bring up just another really important point for those parents thinking they'd planned a wedding or a reunion in the summer. Our summer semesters are going to be block scheduled so that the student can, and generally 3 5-week blocks. So if a student wants to take the first 5-week block off for something, like take the trip to Israel or go to Paris, they'd be able to do that the first 5 weeks and then be able to do the next 10 weeks of regular liberal arts here on campus, etc. So the flexibility built into the summer to allow for travel, as well as perhaps some family obligations, we're listening to the students and the parents, and we know that needs to happen. So I think semester abroad and certainly summer are all going to be very thoughtfully worked on.
I'd just like to add a little bit of a narrow focus, at least from myself personally, and that is going to be how YearRound Campus will be an attraction for pre-professional programs, pre-dent, pre-med, and pre-law. And I can say for myself personally, in fact, last week a kid was saying, hey, I'd love to be an orthodontist like you, Dr. Warford. And I said, well, you got to go through the 22nd grade. They said, what? And so, thinking of that, I thought that, hey, if I could have gone through the 21st grade, that would have been better.
That's exactly true, Dr. Warford. We've been taking this out on the road, so we've done test groups with high schools throughout North Dakota. In fact, I was on the road from 5:30 in the morning till 7 at night last night, and then we had a meeting at the monastery afterward. But we were out talking to high school students about this prospect, and the response that we've gotten from high school students in North Dakota has been phenomenal. And the further west you go, the more excitement builds, because students know that this is a fantastic opportunity for them. Here's one of the things that prospective students are excited about. They say, I'm going to pursue a graduate degree that's been my dream for a long time. That graduate degree isn't offered in North Dakota, or it's at a school that's hard to get in, or this or that. If I'm able to do this, the attraction of my resume as I'm applying for graduate school is going to be so great because they're going to see me as a driven student, and I'm getting to the place of my dreams more quickly. Now, when they come here, they're going to find that indeed this is the place of their dreams. But that's a really important point. That's an important point. Tatiana, Alicia, how we do? We want to be on TV. Ask us questions. Anything?
Well, University of Mary obviously is working on being a leader when it comes to higher education. Would you suggest that all higher education when it comes to colleges need to have both options of doing 4 years as well as year-round school, or do we just want to keep this as an idea to ourselves?
I think students need to think carefully about their future. And I think that universities and colleges have an obligation not simply to go after students for their tuition payments or even for their talents that they're able to bring to the student body. Universities and colleges have a sacred trust and an important responsibility to assist students in discerning what the best option for them is given their life circumstances and given what they're called to do. And so when we think about the summer, and we think about students wanting to run around in flip-flops and Bermuda shorts and have a lot of fun, we don't want to squash that. And so Diane and her team are working very carefully to make sure that good vacation time is built into the year. We want this to be reasonable and happy and joyful and sunny. At the same time, we need to say to students, think carefully about how much those summers off cost you. Long-term in your life, they cost you an enormous amount of money. And we've done the analysis on that, and we're able to show students that we have a responsibility to shoot straight with our students and to talk with them and to help them and to assist them and to mentor them as we form them into young servant leaders. Amy?
I know that internships, work experience, things like that are an important part of going to college. Is that still going to be encouraged, and how will students find
Absolutely. I think when you take a look and when we have an opportunity for you to look at Vision 2030, you're going to see that the University of Mary is making even a more strong commitment to experiential learning. Every single program on this campus will have, and most of them already do have, an experiential learning component, including internships, mentorships, etc. So I want to reiterate to you that the curriculum doesn't change. The 8 semesters of work continues, and so the issue is that the students are going to be, and I think when you look at the materials that were prepared for you, it makes it a little bit clear. They actually, by the time they're in their internship and student teaching, mentorship, they're just a year ahead. They're a year ahead of everybody else. So they're taking it earlier than other students, but those essential pieces are not going to be omitted. And in fact, as we're working on, and Dr. Seaworth is giving leadership to the Work Campus initiative as part of this, we're hoping that our students are going to actually be getting more experiential and work opportunity throughout the entire 8 semesters, not less.
Okay, then I have one other question.
Oh, go for it.
So do students have to declare that they want to do this as an entering freshman, and then can they change their minds at any point?
You're really good. We should always be bouncing ideas off you. You think like higher ed. This is very good. I see it as a really great superhighway that's going pretty quick, but there's a lot of off-ramps. And so the student that comes to us starting in March, when we're registering these great students for their freshman year, we're going to certainly visit with them about it and say, what do you think? How long do you want to take to complete? And if they say, I'm really interested in the 12-month campus, we have sheets in the faculty. We're going to be sitting down and doing the advising sheets to say, then this is what your 8 semesters is going to look like, including summers. If at any time their life changes, and has that happen, right? They'll be able to go to their advisor and say, this isn't working for me, so how am I going to rework next semester? If I can't go to school next summer, what's it going to look like? Ultimately, because these core classes, these essential liberal arts and prerequisites for their major will be ramping up and be taught 12 months out of the year. Every student has the potential to be able to be much more efficient in their schooling, whether it be an entire 2.6 or 3 or 4. Remember, as Monsignor said, a lot of students are spending 5 and 6 years getting their bachelors. So even if they need to be able to have to slow it down because of something in their life, they're still going to benefit and be able to graduate hopefully a little quicker.
Amy, your questions are good, and Diane's answer is perfect in that regard. There are off-ramps. There are also on-ramps. In other words, a student can jump on for a short time to do just one summer semester. They'll be able to reduce their time to completion, maybe not 2.6, but maybe less than 4, or maybe they're able to do a double, triple major that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to do. And I just want to make a public invitation as well to all those wonderful students who go to great institutions like North Dakota State University, or like the University of Minnesota, or like Creighton, who are home for the summer and who have to take general education requirements anyway. They're able to jump up here and have a vibrant summer experience as well and increase their time to completion at their own institutions because we're fully accredited.
Diane, as I hear that answer that you gave, what I'm hearing is the on-ramp maybe for a student who's changed their major. So maybe they had the 4-year plan and now instead of 5 or 6 years, they...
Right. We didn't plant that. That was really another excellent question. That, believe it or not, 2/3 of the students that are in any university today really don't have a clue what they're doing. And they're constantly changing their mind as is necessary. And so being able to expand to the 12-month campus does allow them to have these on-ramps to come to their advisor and say, okay, now I'm going to change my major. Does this mean I've got 3 more years of education left? We're going to be able to say no. We've got continuous campus. We're going to be able to help you complete that in a much more efficient time frame. Thank you very much for that question, including transfer students, because this university takes a lot of students from community college. And in taking transfer students in from 2-year programs from around the country, those students too will be able to benefit from the summer, because a lot of times those prerequisites that they need sometimes will set them back. This will allow them to just hit the ground running as soon as they come to Mary. So it's very exciting.
Could you elaborate on financial aid and if there's any sort of changes to people joining this program and maybe how that would affect them?
Honestly, the financial aid question is probably the most exciting. I've been in higher education a very long time, and one of the biggest barriers to summer programs has been how the student is going to finance that program. And because we are working with some local lenders as well as some of the regulations that we've been looking at much more closely, the student is eligible, because they'll be full-time students in the summer, for the same financial aid that they would be taking. So they've got 8 semesters of financial aid. How and when they take those 8 semesters of financial aid is just compressed. So their ability to finance and afford an education that goes straight through the 12 months is there. It's very exciting.
There's a question in the back.
So for current UMary students, say students who are going to be sophomores or juniors next year, will they be able to immediately jump onto the year-round campus, or is it just going to be for incoming freshmen to start with?
Well, we have to look at that. I think that's an important question. The difficulty is because the first summer semester in which we're ramped up and fully in scale, because we offer summer school now, like just about every college or university. We've got organic chem, which is a great treat to take all summer long. We've got those types of courses in the summer. Because we'll be ramping this up into a full, vibrant campus experience, and the first summer will be 2016, and because we're offering it, at least at the beginning, primarily as a liberal arts component, which are the core curricular requirements, it might be useful to some students, depending upon what courses they've already taken. And we will try and get our advisors up to speed so that they can have that conversation if necessary. And so it might assist current students in some way, but the full impact won't be felt until next year's freshman class. And we worked, this was a question which was very much on our hearts. In other words, the infrastructure, higher ed is a big deal. And to turn the Titanic around, which is what I want to say, that's what we're doing. We're turning it around because the iceberg's right there in the back of the room. To turn the Titanic around takes some time. And so we're doing the best we can. We want to do the best we can. We're still committed, as we've always been with our 4-year guarantee, to make sure that our students are able, in the best way possible, to get out in 4 years, or in the best amount of time that we're able to manage for them. Yeah, good question.
Could you explain a little how this affects graduate programs and graduate students?
Sure. You know, honestly, our graduate programs pretty much are 12-month continuous campus right now. Our MBA, our Master's in Education is summer. Our OTPT goes straight through the year. Our DNP now certainly is straight through as a 12-month campus. So honestly, that has been a germ for part of our thinking, is that we know that our graduate programs never stop. And it's exciting and it's wonderful. And so having that same pattern for undergraduate education really only makes sense. So the graduate programs really won't change because they're 12-month continuous campus already.
I want to thank everyone for coming today, for the media, for our sisters, the faculty, students, and staff of the University of Mary, high school students who are looking for a place to go and want a free sweatshirt. To all of you, thanks very much for coming.
It's a perfect fit. There you go. Perfect. Coming out this fall? You coming to Mary this fall?